Hey, YouTube fam, we on part 3 of House of Horror. We all feel the same way. NaZiyah Harris has touched our hearts, and we can stop thinking about her. We want justice for her. As this trial approaches, we want nothing but justice for whoever that got something to do with it, which it seemed like the whole house. Because all it would have took was that one phone call that same day to have authorities out there looking for that baby. All it would have took was a drive past that shop, go in that gas station. Have you seen my grandbaby? Rip the town up about your child. We don't. This is like all bunched in together of a lot of people got something to do with this whole thing. But NaZiyah have family out there that loved her. NaZiyah have once reached out asking for help and it was swept under the rug. And I definitely think it's too soon for them people to be interviewing Vari. He's such a young man. He hardly can grasp the concept of this tragic until this trial starts. So you guys stick with me. We're going to recap some things of the interviews with the family members, just of what they know of the family and what's been going on in the House of Horror. Click like and subscribe. Till next time.
My mom came from out of town just to come see and visit me and my little sister, and he came to see his kids, and he was in the driveway, and I'm next door at my man's house. I come outside, my little sister in the passenger seat inside his car, and his daughter in the back, which is Janiyah, my little cousin, which is Shannon's daughter. I look in the passenger seat, and I tell, I'm getting mad. I'm at this point, I'm cussing at my little sister. You feel me? Even though I ain't mean to, but I'm being a big brother. Like, right. What you doing inside a grown man face? Get out the car, go in the house. That's what I said. Get out the car, go in the house. Walked around to his car. Roll your window down, bro. He didn't want to roll his window down. He stepped out his car, opened the door. He was like, what's happening, little nigga? I got triggered because I'm like, hold on, bro.
Right.
But I'm trying to talk to you. You feel me? You instantly triggering. You don't even know what I'm talking to you about. It could be about anything.
Right. So I mean, what was her reaction with that? Like as far as what you
we was trying to get in and fight and stuff. Like we was trying to get into it. Like when he came out the car and stuff, and he got rowdy and stuff. We got the squaring up and stuff. But
you and this grown man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Big promo.
It was crazy. Big promo. I mean, I was in the streets. You feel me? I had my little toolie on me. You know, it's kind of weird because I ain't never done this before, but it's kind of nice though. Like about like spreading the awareness and everybody just screaming justice for NaZiyah. Makes me feel good.
Like my father and my grandmother tried to help Annette when she was young. And she wasn't receptive to the help that she received. My grandmother and father got her 11 years old. She was pregnant. My grandmother helped her get a hood home, pay for attorneys to help her get her baby because he ended up becoming a ward of the state because she was so young. And Annette just continued to be promiscuous and things like that. But she was a victim of a lot of trauma herself.
Yeah.
So her children, they have some issues too. Everybody got their problems, but it's to the extreme. She has 7 children, and from what I understand, I have people I know who work in foster care and things like that. They ask you about your children. They want to interview your children, see how your children are, how they turned out, where they life with, what type of upbringing they had. Well, unfortunately, out of her 7 children, the first one ran away at a very young age. The second one, he stayed home till 18 and went to school. Then Zaya's mother, she has had some difficulties in life and ran away at 13. Then the next child ran away at 16. Then the next child left at 17 or 18. And they just all have been going through some triumphs in their life that we feel they would have never had to go through. Her mother loved her. She loved her children. She just had, like I said, she grew up with Annette in a household, and she went through the same thing at 13 as NaZiyah. So, she had a lot on her, and no one ever got her help. So, and she loved her children. She just couldn't fight those demons that were chasing her. When all this stuff was going on with NaZiyah, we finally caught up with her because people were lying, specifically Annette and people in the family were saying that she just left. She never left. She said, I'm staying here until y'all find out what happened to my baby. But she just staying out the way because Annette was trying to say she had something to do with it. Other people were trying to say, when actually she was the first person to give the police the information that they needed to try to figure out what happened to NaZiyah.
Oh, wow.
But when we found her just talking to her, she said, this stuff just keep on falling, this sex stuff, she said, it just keep on chasing me. It's chasing me, now it's got my baby.
Oh my God.
So, who was another, Annette's other sister's daughter was there. Now, this child had never been around Jarvis alone before. I think she might have been at the birthday party or something, an adult birthday party, but it was at a hall. But she was at Shannon's home, and this young lady was so afraid. Shannon's telling me this. She ran upstairs, frantic and afraid and scared, and wanting to go home and wanted to call her mother because Jarvis touched her inappropriately while she was in the basement playing with the puppy. While this little group, now Jarvis was on a game, he wasn't thinking about going up there with Shannon or nothing. Shannon says all of a sudden, while she's up there, she's trying to calm this little girl down and talk to her, Jarvis comes and knocks on the door and says, what's wrong with her? And I said, Shannon, why are you calling me? Is he dead or is he in jail? No, he left. What you mean he left? Call the police. Let them know where he's going, what car he's in. But this is how Kiwana got involved, so I'll let Kiwana tell what happened on her end.
So then I end up going over there to drop off NaZiyah some clothing. And once I got there, Shannon pulled me to the side and said, I gotta tell you something. And I go, okay, what's going on, little cuz? And she said, that Janelle and called protective services on me and lied and said that Jarvis was doing something to the kids. I said, what? What do you mean she called protective services to say Jarvis was doing something to the kids? How would that come about? So that's when she went to tell me, it was a party. And she explained that what happened at the party, and that they ended up questioning the children, and her daughter, along with NaZiyah, along with my other little cousin, which I've never met, had expressed to her that Jarvis offered them monies to do things inappropriately. She said, however, she found later on that her daughter was lying.
Point, Jarvis was not on the registry, sex offender registry. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, when I initially found out that Jarvis was a sex offender, it's almost 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I asked Shannon about it. She didn't tell me. I stumbled over it because of a situation where he had got arrested and had her daughter in his custody at that time. He had the child, and we had to go get the baby because he got arrested. So I was looking him up to see what he got arrested for. Then it popped up his Otis information saying that he was a sex offender and had sexually assaulted a child under the age of 13. And I looked at Shannon and I was like, Shannon, he's a sex offender. Yeah, he said the girl lied. I'm like, it says the girl was 13, and then I did the math on his age. I said he was 24. So it ain't no lie there. Yeah, but he did his time. And I'm like, nah, nope. I was like, you need to leave him alone. I would tell her, you need to leave him alone. He was not good to her. He did not treat her well. He did not teach your children well. So I called. And that's when they went after him, and eventually, maybe about 6 months later, he had to report. They register him, and he ended up on the sex offender registry. But the report happened in February of 2022. I was told that the authorities were involved. When I found out that the authorities were not involved, Shannon was lying to me.
22 or 24?
22.
22.
Wow. Okay.
So in April of 22, I figured out another incident happened where a child was doing some sexually inappropriate things. And I said, well, what's going on with the case? And isn't she in counseling? And you need to go to the police and take the phone. She sending pictures to somebody on Instagram. She had told somebody else. she tell people this stuff like it's nothing, like it's the normal everyday thing. She told somebody who wouldn't even relate her to this story, and they called me to tell me what she said, and then I called her to ask her about it. So that's when I called CPS in April when I found out she had lied to me. No, NaZiyah was living with her grandmother, Annette. But Shannon was always over Annette's house prior to moving back in with her. I think she moved back in maybe August or something of 2023. She was living in a townhome that I let her live in. She was living in a townhome. It's a Section 8 townhome. I incomed out of it when I graduated from nursing school. I signed it over to her thinking it would be a stepping stone to help her and her children. And we would keep it in the family, and maybe the next person who needed a stepping stone to go finish school or whatever can use it. Well, Shannon got evicted from that townhome because of her and her shenanigans with Jarvis. So she ended up having to move back in with Annette sometime in August or September of 2023. That's how she got back in the home with Annette. But prior to that, NaZiyah was with Shannon all the time at her home.
One of the children had begun to contact me and express things that were going on in the house, right? Because, I talked regularly with the children, even when they tried to isolate me. I'm not going to say names of the children, but one of the eldest children would try to contact me, or contact me outside of their knowledge. It began them having to sneak and call me now because, they don't want us around. We get in their business. We're calling protective services. And so, I went on to, talk to workers, try to get custody, continue to call. I made calls not just in Wayne County, but again in Clinton Township. So there was calls, Clinton Township, Wayne County. The Clinton Township calls was against Shannon. Wayne County was against Auntie and their household. And then both stories were being told to both protective services, that city and in that city. And
yep. And we did get a little bit of action. A little bit. It was September 2022 when her brother ran away.
Yeah, 22.
I contacted an attorney. We were trying to find out why first of all, we were trying to find him. We got threatened by the police saying that we was harboring a minor. We was going to go to jail. But Kiwana and I had to devise a plan. I contacted an attorney. We was trying to get the boy to tell them what was going on. The attorney even told him, hey, all you got to do is say you're not safe and I can go and file for emergency guardianship. He refused to say that because he didn't want to go against his nana. So we were telling him, your nana is threatening to put us in jail. We had devised a plan. I was going to take the brother. She was going to take NaZiyah.
So did.
Because I have boys. So I was like, I'll bring him over here. He's familiar with my boys. NaZiyah was very close with Kiwana's girls. We had to devise a plan because those children wanted to go. He didn't want to tell on his nana because he was afraid that his sister would end up in foster care or her grandmother would retaliate against her or keep her from him if he was to tell.
Right.
Wow. So we couldn't devise it. I tried to do it, but he didn't want to tell. And the lawyer advised me. He was like, "There's nothing we can do about it." I mean, he said you can make another report of the abuse, which I did with the police officer who contacted us, threatening us with harboring a minor. Mm-hmm. We told him what was going on and why he was afraid. They didn't investigate none of that. He said his job was to make sure the minor went back home.
And once that situation occurred, that was actually the agreement amongst him and my auntie. You go wherever the hell you going. And we're gonna keep it like that. I'm not gonna let them know that you're not here. Because she was receiving funds, and so that's how that went. He was in the street, pillar to post, regularly. We were called because we needed help, CASHAPPs and so on. We would send them and do as much as we could, being mothers of our own children. My thing with him was, listen, I want to do this the right way. And operations I did with it, where I was living. I lived in a duplex apartment. Wasn't as much room enough. However, the manager was willing to, let me bring her there. She said, whatever you need to do for those children, we won't violate you. Don't worry about it. Do what you got to do. Because I explained the situation to her. And she told me, listen, whatever you need to do, just say the word, because that's a very serious situation. So yeah, we actually, I made preparations. I got the kids ready for this to happen. But as she said, it was, her brother. He was afraid that his sister would go into custody, and not just that, he was afraid of what would happen at home. I mean, they had already been out there multiple times, and you just never know in the mind of a child or someone that young.
He was actually experiencing what was going on, because he did go back, and then he contacted Kiwana and said that he was punished after he went back and ended up leaving again, and pretty much never really went back. He's been there, but he has not lived there since he ran away those 2 times. He's basically been out here on his own.
Yeah,
jumping from house to house. Like, the most devastating, of course, is NaZiyah, but the next thing will be the fact that we don't have a relationship with the children. Like,
absolutely.
Shannon's oldest daughter, her and Shannon lived with me for about 2 years.
Wow.
Like I told you, me and Shannon was thick as thieves. She lived with me for 2 years. Her oldest daughter called me Auntie Mommy.
Wow.
Like, my kids miss them. Like, my son is 22 years old now, and he like, what? Like, I had to have a conversation with them about, like, when you was kids and Shannon was living with me, did he ever come over? Yeah, he came over, but he never came past the front door. It was only 15 minutes. But just to hear all this stuff on social media, he pissed. Like, I wish I had to pay more attention, but then again, he couldn't pay more attention because I knew that he was a sex offender, and I kind of kept my kids from over there. They would be invited to birthday parties. They didn't come. Because I couldn't.
Right.
I wasn't leaving my kids over there.
No. Yeah. Never.
No, so it was like, I would call the kids, tell them happy birthday, maybe get them something to eat, or we'll swing by as a family, do ice cream and cake, say hello, keep on going, or we just didn't go because I just couldn't trust that
thing.
Yeah. I used to always talk to her like, why is you staying with him? And one time she told me, you don't understand, that's my children's father. I'm like, girl, he everybody's daddy. He got babies between your babies.
No,
I gave her a baby shower. He was supposed to come and so-called help. He was so busy trying to rush up out there to go to another girl who was having a baby.
No.
Like, and I was like, you don't deserve this. These kids deserve better. You could do better.
Yeah.
That's my kid's daddy. I said, and I told Shannon at this point that Jarvis could not come around the children.
Who told her that?
CPS. Other girls under Annette, when things would happen or said, she would say they being fast and this and that. When NaZiyah went missing and we did reach out to some of the family, oh, she just out trying to get some dick. She being fast. I'm like, how was you speaking about this child as your blood relative?
Right.
Shannon was texting people that. The other family members were saying the same thing. Well, where did she learn to go out and get it from?
Right.
She was grown. She was a child.
Yeah.
Because if Shannon told me the information in February of 2022, how long was it going on before that? And then there were other things that before that they probably didn't even tell me about that was going on.
Right. I'm sure it was. Me
so somebody tried to tell me Shannon telling me these types of things was a cry for help. Well, then why when I helped you, you called me an op and said I was trying to break up your family? They didn't know that she was pregnant. We did not know that she was pregnant until all of this happened. And then we saw the videos and we started kind of like looking and assuming like, wait a minute, it look like she's pregnant. And I personally feel strongly that they knew that she was pregnant.
Because mind you, we were no longer allowed to see them. So it was phone calls now. It was, I'm sneaking to call you to say hi because they weren't allowed to talk to us, So that's how I was in communication, and that's how she was in communication. It was phone calls. We couldn't see them. So we weren't seeing them visually, aside from the oldest child. I won't say his name, but yeah.
NaZiyah would text every now and then if she can get a hold of a phone, or she would. I think one time she reached out to me on social media. The last time I saw NaZiyah was June of 2022 because I saw CPS in April, And I saw her June of 2022, and I was taking one of the other children with me because I have a son that's close to age with one of the other children. They're very close, and I was taking them on a trip. It was like a Father's Day football trip or something. And I saw her that day, and she wanted to go. And I'm like, I'm gonna come back when I get back in town. We gonna make plans. I'm gonna come and get you. Well, I tried to get her like a week and a half later, take her to lunch, let her spend the night, get her nails done, do something fun with her, and they told me that she could not go. Continuously tried to do things for the children, reach out to the children, spend time with the children, be around the children, and they wouldn't let us be around. I showed Deborah the text message where I tried to offer to pay for cheer, like the boys. 2 of the older boys in the household were allowed to go and play football. And I'm like, well, all these years, these boys get to go play football. Well, they got a scholarship. I'm like, they got cheerleading scholarships too. And if they don't, I'll be willing to pay for her to go to cheer. Why she always got to sit in the house? Why she can't never go and do anything? They declined my offer for that.
And you know what? And today, was it today or yesterday? I believe it was today. They said in those text messages, she was constantly asking, "Am I ugly? Do you think I'm pretty?" Well, let me tell you, she always felt ugly. She had very low self-esteem. And I was the one, I would always say, "You are beautiful." That's how I gave her the nickname Pretty Eyes, because her nickname from her mom is Tuda. And then we also call her Zaza. However, I wanted to go the extra mile and make her feel pretty when I call her name. And so I gave her Pretty Eyes, because she had some beautiful, gorgeous eyes.
She's a beautiful girl.
Yes, she was. But let me say this. They added to her low self-esteem. They were constantly saying things to her like, "You nappy-headed. You got nappy hair." So she felt like it gave her a complex, because all the other children have fine hair. And I would have to tell her, "Baby, you got black girl magic. You see my kinks? You see my hair? You better love yourself. You are beautiful, baby. Those are nines all through your coils." And I would have to try to make her feel good, because they would tear her down by making her feel like she wasn't as pretty as the other kids. You got nappy hair. You bony. These were the things that they were so bald headed self. That was something they said regularly, and to them it was jokingly.
Every single day.
The organized searches.
Yup, to give us flyers, talk to us, keep us in the loop about things, express our concerns and stuff like that. We talked to the head detectives a few days after the 14th when everything became televised. They found out about Clinton Township from me.
Sure did.
They didn't even know that she lived in Clinton Township.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we was quiet, because they told us, pass out flyers, keep her name out there. We remaining hopeful, but this is a recovery effort.
Yeah, sure did. And we knew that. No. Yes, absolutely. And
never seen those people.
Well, did Jarvis live in Clinton Township or River Rouge area?
Deborah asked me that. Jarvis' papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his head was his home.
It was his home.
He went from one girl house to the other house, to the Shannon house, to the Annette house, to the hotel, to the shop, to the... He slept wherever.
I heard double lives, honey, but he lived quadruple. He had everything down pat. He would be in one lady house at this time, from that time, 2 a.m. Boom, he done left it, and she got.
That's what I said. I said, oh, the one. She said he leave at 2 o'clock. I said, oh, the other girl must work at Chrysler because they get off at 3 a.m. So he had to get home. Then he get up and go and take the kids to school for Shannon, then go to work and recruit more women while he was at the shop, because he met most of them at the shop. Then go wherever he was going in the afternoon. So I don't know where that man lived.
The reason why I wasn't doing the things that they wanted me to do, or she wanted me to do, because we already had the investigators letting us know we got everything we need. All we need y'all to do is not compromise the case and stay out of the way. Anything that y'all do outside of that is jeopardizing the case. The things that they see coming out in court now, that's hanging him, they already had that from the beginning. The phone calls, the telephone calls, the phone numbers that they were given, we gave them. We said when it was with Detroit Public School Police, they were Shannon and my aunt They weren't giving them the tablets and phones and so on. We were pressing the Detroit Public School Police and saying, oh no, she's got this tablet. She got this social media. Oh, that's not the only phone, honey. They took that phone. That phone was taken around this time. She had a phone that her mother gave her. Y'all got to go into those records and see what was going on. Okay? So we never stopped being active as far as fighting for not just NaZiyah, but all the children. All the children.
The Detroit Public School Police, DPD people, you know, like, we was in there, like, talking to them and stuff. Now I see why they told us, stand down. We got everything we need. We don't need you doing no searches. You can pass out some flyers, but we got everything we need.
Absolutely.
Because we gave them a lot of information, but we were, like, hounding them. And they was like, oh, just look, you gave us the information. We following it. Just stand down. Don't go out here in these houses looking. Don't go out here accusing people and knocking on doors and all that stuff. Just stand down. We got everything we need. We just need some time to put it together. It takes time to get subpoenas for text messages. It takes time to get subpoenas from the phone companies. It takes time to run DNA samples and stuff like that. It takes time.
Absolutely.
We knew they told us this before the 14th.
Sure did.
We got the information when it was transferred. We talked to Detroit Public School Police the Friday after NaZiyah went missing because we didn't find out until Thursday night. She went missing on a Tuesday. We found out on Facebook post on a Thursday night. We called Friday morning.
Sure did.
And told them everything that we knew and what could have possibly happened because originally we thought she had ran away. But just to see all of it unfold was a little bit of a relief because I've been preaching this for a long time and no one would listen. No one believed me. Or they would say, oh, the kids are not denying it. We're not seeing it. The family over there was saying, oh, she lying. She not telling the truth. I don't know why she would make that up about him. I don't know what she got against him and my mama, but she lying. Just my truth to come out.
Yeah.
Because they were lying from the beginning. I was pretty much told that a lot of the things that we told them that first couple weeks is what they would have never looked. Annette would have kept on saying she ran away. She would have never said that she was missing. As a matter of fact, Detective Gardner told me when the grandmother said she missing. I said, no, she lying. She ain't missing. That girl won't be gone for no 3 weeks and ain't contact nobody, no money, not on the social media. But just to see it all put together. And that judge, she saw through all the BS. She saw all the lies and the neglect that we've been trying to tell them was going on. She saw all of it. It's just unfortunate it took for NaZiyah to be the reason why all this shit came out when we've been telling people for years. This ain't nothing that just happened in February. This been happening for years. And we've been going through it, arguing back and forth with Shannon, arguing back and forth with the different police people we came in contact with, calling CPS, trying to get the kids. So it's a little bit of a relief. I can say that a little bit of the weight is off of my shoulders, but we still got a long way to go because I want to know where her body is, and I believe they need to go ask Shannon. Absolutely. Because she know everything that he do. If out of all the women that he been with, she the one who keep up with him the most. I don't think a lot of people know, like everybody know these charges for NaZiyah, but there are 8 other children. 8 other cases. One of the trials are
going to court.
Oh no, he go to court on the 16th to be bonded over for NaZiyah. Then it's another trial starting on the 17th for the sexual molestation of another child under the age of 13. It's multiple.
Oh, you know what? I did.
Yeah. What's that?
All these charges are not just NaZiyah. There are other children.
You're right.
Dating back to 2015, whose families have came forward, or they are adults now and they came forward, or they're teenagers and came forward and said he did the same.
So can you all tell us about the GoFundMe?
We didn't start a GoFundMe account. They all actually, we felt it was premature for a GoFundMe. What do we need a GoFundMe account for? Originally, when we discussed the GoFundMe, we said the money would go towards a reward for more information or the conviction or something like that for NaZiyah. We never can get it worked out with Crime Stoppers and everything, so that's where it went pause.
Right.
I guess the GoFundMe is supposed to be for a funeral or memorial for NaZiyah. I personally think that's premature. We haven't even got the conviction.
That's right.
So in cases like these, when the police asked us about it, we told them that we were not associated with the GoFundMe. They said because in situations like this, when the children are killed or murdered or whatever, the police have funds for that.
Absolutely.
And not only that, community advocates, different funeral homes, floral shops, they all come together and fund it. So no, I am not, and Kiwana, I'm sure you can say the same, we are not associated with a GoFundMe account. Although the evidence is out there and everything, we just feel like, for what? It just, unless it's gonna help find her body or get more information for them to put the clues together to find her body.
That's right.
We're gonna pray that he tells.
If anybody has any information to fill these holes or want to come forward and start telling the truth, this is the time. This is your opportunity. People been lying on the like the judge say on perjuring themselves in my courtroom. Start telling the truth so we can at least find this girl body.
That's right.
And put her to rest.